Haha. Hey guys, it's Windham, that filthy casual, back for Video Wednesdays. Kinda, I might actually release this sooner than that. Anyway, so yeah, here we are with another 250. And today we're going to be talking about Fargo! Woohoo! Now, first of all, I had some amazing comments about things, basically saying, why do you do movie reviews? You know nothing, you seem to know nothing at all. And, this is true, but, you know, if you took like 2 seconds to look at my name, you would realize that I don't take myself too seriously. I've never claimed to be an expert. I just enjoy things. But, nevertheless, I wanted to revamp the way that I do this, to make things better for people that are casuals, that aren't film buffs, and just kind of, add a little bit more discussion into it. So this is 250 revamped. First of all, I'm going to talk about initial thoughts. Now, that means like as soon as I press X out of Netflix or I close my laptop, exactly what I thought. And the first thing, the initial thoughts are, whoa, that's a lot to handle. And I knew that I liked it immediately. Sometimes with films, especially if like they're more intense, or maybe they have a bit more depth, it takes me a while to process whether or not I really enjoyed myself, whether or not I really thought it was a film worth investing my emotions in, whether I go, well, that was a waste of 2 hours, or if I really liked it. It depends. Sometimes it'll hit me a few days later where I'll just be doing something and then I'll miss that part of the film, be like, I wish I could watch that part again because it'll make me think of something. So right off the bat, I knew that I enjoyed this one because it gives you things to contemplate and enjoy. There's depth, but there's not so much depth that it takes you a long time to process what's going on. Now, and I would also have to say that Frances McDormand did an amazing job. She had an amazing portrayal as a female lead in this film. And something that I really think is cool is when you have someone in a role acting as a normal human being and they just so happen to be female, which is awesome. I mean, that's what George R.R. Martin says all the time, or other authors. They go, you know what I do is I write a character, and if they just so happen to be a female, so be it. And Frances McDormand is doing that. And what's even cooler is her role has her in the epitome of femininity. She's not trying to necessarily fit into a man's world. She is a woman who is biologically going through the most feminine thing that she could possibly be going through, and yet she's also like the strongest character out of pretty much everybody in the cast. She's the leading lady, and so it was neat to have that take on things. The way the cinematography and locations were used to make you feel cold, to make you feel like you're out in the middle of nowhere, to make you think that you were completely disconnected. There are videos that talk about a big theme of this film being loneliness, and I would have to agree with that. There was something that I could feel the entire time that I was watching it. It felt cold and distant, and relationships really felt empty. Her and her husband, they sit, but they don't really necessarily have conversations with each other than day-to-day activities. They're not discussing baby names. They're not having any type of intimate moment. They're really just saying, oh, you got me some worm. I'm going to get some worms for my husband. And, oh, I brought you some lunch, Margie. There's not really much of a connection there. And so you feel that, but I couldn't put a name on it. And then I watched this other video where he said, it's describing what people do with loneliness. It's a take on loneliness in this atmosphere. And whoa, is that spot on. So yeah, I would have to say, the idea of your location and your cinematography being really able to communicate an emotion like that was really neat. As far as fun production facts for this film, you look into it, and the Coen brothers, which, Coen brothers are awesome, but they have changed the story about where the story came from several times. Like, they go back on their word and they say several different things because, in the beginning it says it's based on a true story, and then at the end it says that everything is fictitious. So what do you believe? Coen brothers, what are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? I don't know. They say they took the crime and then came up with their own backstory to what they say happened. But then they went back on that. So, Coen Brothers, what really was going on? Now, as far as why I personally think that Fargo made the list, you know, obviously there's use of cinematography. And to some people, I feel like it would seem like a very surfacey thriller type film to most people. But, you know, if you look deeper, there's cinematography, as well as what I said about the interesting choices of character. I would say interesting character choices definitely set this apart from other films. Definitely set it apart from other thrillers and mysteries. And so overall, those two choices, as well as it being a Coen Brothers film, I really think are what put this on the list, are just these two things that work together to give us something that it kind of satisfies something inside of you whenever you're watching it, which is neat. And finally, is it worth watching if you aren't a movie buff? And this is something really big that I think I needed to add to my reviews, just because, you know, not everybody wants to sit and watch Metropolis for 3 hours, and, you know, not everybody is a fan of spaghetti westerns. So, just in general, to be a human being, is this movie worth watching? And I would say yes. I would say this one is worth watching just because of how it might give you new ideas on viewing women in cinema, how it might give you new ideas in viewing character development, and again, cinematography to convey emotions. And it's Coen Brothers, so I would say, yeah, it's worth watching. And my final score, if I'm going out of 10, I'm going to say 8.5 to 9. Definitely. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the accents. I really enjoyed the location, being kind of like pushed into this world, which I'm sorry, but I would never live in Minnesota ever. Unless I was paid like $5 million. I would never live there in all that cold, because no. And so, you're put into this world, and it's almost kind of like a culture. You know, small town culture, understanding of, you know, you go to the store to get your husband worms. You know, you constantly have to go to work in the snow, even though it's just on the other side of the United States. It's a different world, and also being such a small town is really cool. So I would say by putting you into this universe, it did an excellent job. Plot excellent, acting excellent. Everything is good, and it all works for it. So overall, yeah. Anyway, so here is Fargo. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you kind of enjoy this new format, as opposed to basically just a summary of production and a summary of plot. I think this is a little bit more relatable to most people, and also communicates more the idea that I'm not going to school for film or film studies. I'm not sitting watching these trying to analyze everything. I'm just, look, I am a casual, okay? Like it says it in my name. Anyway, I'll be visiting my family, and I'm going to be visiting the Renegades this week. And so be on the lookout for some of those, because we got most popular girls in school. And also, yeah, be on the lookout for videos with my brother, because that's always entertaining. Anyway, guys, it's Windham. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.